How's everybody doing out there? It is late, late, late. Of course, I am a late night worker. And here at the job, I am preparing, well, to lose it, as the influence of this shot is phenomenal. I mean to tell you, in 1 week's time, my job has went from offering people $80 if they take the shot to now sending out email alerts. Oh, they would like to hear from us, and they would like any of our questions or concerns or support of or against taking the shot to be video recorded. And they even offer a list of instructions on how to do this if you are a person with an Android or a smartphone or an Apple, whatever the case may be. Needless to say, anybody looking into this knows you can have all the philosophical and religious exemptions you want, but a private business has the right to say who and who does not enter their property. So even though there may not be a government mandate in place, it doesn't stop big tech and big corporations from going along with the New World Order. I mean, from going along with, what they would call their own ideals about a safe and healthy work environment. And so, in preparation for that, what I am doing is preparing my religious exemption for this reason. When they fire me, and they will, I will take that religious exemption, should I be fired, for this reason alone, and file an appeal. Now, during that appeal process, you understand, chances are I will lose that process, but that's not why I'm filing the appeal and have my ducks in a row with the religious exemption in hand. That is for the sake of unemployment. Oh, yes. Because the rules surrounding unemployment have become so lax and so lifted and so online only that just about anybody can get it. I had a buddy here. He got fired a couple days ago for sexual harassment. Sure enough, did. Well, anyways, he filed with the unemployment office, and he said, and I said, well, how can you do that when you was fired on such terms? And, his ridiculous behind is all, no problem. I did this at my last job, too. Oh, he had it all down pat. He could tell you to the date how many weeks you can expect to get it from this state, and how you apply and what options you hit when you apply, and yada yada, and que sera. And so that made me get to thinking. For everybody out there who runs the risk of being exiled from your job, exiled from your school, exiled from, society, all is not lost. Now, this ain't going to last forever. Unemployment never does. However, it is a window of opportunity, because if you're like me, all of your future planning, all of your financial happenstances are being intermingled in an effort to survive being in exile. Because that's what it is to be about this thing. You can talk all the garbage you want about it being unfair, about it being ridiculous, it being not even scientifically founded, it being a hypocrisy, and all of this stuff. What good does that do? Are you going to do anything about it? Because if you're not going to do anything about it, shut up and get your shot. What's all this crying for? I could cry because I know I'm going to lose everything. And I got a good job, y'all. benefits, pay, all the pay I want, as much as I can handle, and I'm gonna lose it all. And you know, and speaking of money, one last thing I want to hit you with, and then I got to get out of here because I'm kind of on break here. You know, something else I've done to secure my financial future in all of this is, and you could call this, you know, prepping for the mark of the beast. I don't know exactly what kind of prepper this makes me, but it makes me one for sure, because I have contacted the credit recording agencies like Equifax and them. I have put something called a credit freeze on my credit. What that credit freeze means is not me, not you, not anybody, not a hacker. It can apply for credit for any reason. Any line of credit, any buy here, pay here lot, any rent to own furniture, nothing that requires any kind of credit check. It's a big move to make, because you can have a credit freeze lifted, but not without, okay, a laundry list and stuff. You got to show up in person. You got to bring electric bills and things. It's got to be reviewed. You got to be able to prove that you can prove it's you before they will lift such a thing, and that process is a timely one. But I was an identity theft victim not so many years ago in my life, and I had to get a identity pin from the U.S. government just in order to file my taxes, which, you know, this ties me up every tax year. And if I lose that identity pin, that's it. I have to wait until the next tax filing year to even file taxes, and that is because of the scrutiny and security around that identity pin concerning somebody who may or may not have been hacked. And what I learned in that hacking process is that if courtrooms and that aren't going to let anybody in who is unvaccinated, or you should become an enemy of the state or a health concern risk on the streets of the world as a criminal on the run, you don't want anything out there as this digital currency push unfolds to force everybody into giving up their paper currencies and becoming on a crypto system, to bring you back into the world forcibly, or face lawsuits and criminal charges and contempt if you don't show up to these courtrooms and things, you know, regarding your financial issues. So I have frozen my credit. I have frozen my ability. Nobody can file taxes in my name. Not anybody, not nobody's. Not one buddy. And it is a correct move to be made for a person who is bringing both feet up out of her, my people, lest I take part in these sins. And I got to go back into work. But I sincerely hope that you are taking this seriously, and if you are, that you are making arrangements thereof to prepare to survive through exile. And I don't know how long that's going to be. It may be for the duration. I can't tell anybody whether or not to make that choice. It's going to be a personal one. But what I can say is this: if you're not preparing and you're not putting these things in place, and you're not, you know, learning as you go, just like I am, and having all this concern you to such an extent, and if you're not willing to let go of your silly life for His name's sake, Christians out there, you know, then you're every bit as a hypocrite and as a buffoon as the buffoons on TV are, trying to convince you of these witcheries and trickeries and lies and sorceries. You know, how are you God-fearing people who show up to church every Sunday telling your kids don't play with Ouija boards and don't involve yourself with tarot card readers because they're evil? How are you any less evil by taking part in child sacrifice? Which is how all of these things pumped into your veins have come to pass. How are you any less evil than the practice of DNA manipulation, which is the very thing who got that got the world flooded in the days of Noah. Listen, I ain't got time for a sermon. Those are questions you ask yourself. But let your yes be yes and let your no be no. And if it's yes, go for it. I am. What an adventure this is going to end up being. But if your no is no, then be happy with your decision. And shut up and take your shot. You know, because I'm sick of people talking a bunch of stuff just because they like to hear themselves complain, but ain't doing a thing about it or helping anybody else do a thing about it. As a whole lot of people out there are worried and wondering about what they gonna do when they come out of her, my people. Amen. Well, all right. Well, I got to go back to work, and thanks for a little episode of Pillow Talk. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.